Okay, boxing fans, right now we're going to talk about Josesito Lopez versus Marcos Maidana. Lopez is 30 wins, 18 of which by way of knockout to 5 defeats. I actually didn't notice that, Josesito Lopez had so many wins. I always, figured him, even though I watch him fight, I just always figured him for a guy with less fights. I don't know why, just that's the way it was with him. Maidana, 33 wins, 30 of which by way of knockout. He also has 3 losses, all decisions. Lopez obviously is a nice, strong inside fighter. He doesn't do anything excellent. He doesn't have any standout attributes. He was a 140-pound fighter. Obviously moved up to fight Ortiz. Got lucky, in my opinion. But, he won the fight. Fair play to him. Moved up again to fight Canelo. And now he's moving back down to 147. Realistically, I don't think that this is where he should be. I think he should go further down and fight at 140, where he'll be the stronger fighter. But, we'll see how he does here against Maidana, but I'm not sure. And I don't know why, by the way, Golden Boy are putting Lopez in hard matchup after hard matchup after hard matchup. Each fight that he's in, he's been basically a minimum of 3-1 underdog. This pretty much shows that they don't like Lopez really, and they just want him to get, they're just using him to get cleaned out. But then again, I'm not sure that Golden Boy really know what they're doing with Maidana either, but that's another story. I've known Maidana for quite a while. I did know this Argentinian girl when I was actually in college in Southport, and funnily enough, because she was fit, I had to keep up to date on everything that was Argentinian and shit. But so I got to know stuff like, I was always a fan of Independiente, my favourite Argentinian football team. Second favourite team was obviously Boca Juniors. Didn't like River Plate. Learned about some of the boxers, Maidana. I saw him coming through as a earlier, what's the word I think of, earlier professional, and sparking people out left, right and centre, and losing to Kotelnik, outboxing him. And then moved on once I got out of college and that. I was like, and I was watching Maidana for quite a while. I was quite a big fan of him, to be honest. I do like these big punching guys, and after a while I just realised how easy it was to beat Maidana, if the guy has the right attributes. And that's why I'm honestly not surprised that Khan, Alexander and Kotelnik all beat him. They're the type of fighters, just basically sufficient boxers, who don't fight his type of fight, have got a chance of beating him, a real good chance of beating him. Anyone who has attributes, significant attributes over him, then they've got a great chance of beating him. The question is, does Lopez have any of these attributes? I mean, let's be real. How do we rate both fighters? Marcos Maidana, you could rate him as a solid world level contender, world title contender. I don't think he's ever truly won a world title. I know he's been given a world title at 140 pounds, but how can you really count that when he didn't really have to do anything for it? He didn't beat the champion for it, did he? But we'll move on from that. Marcos Maidana, 1-weight world champion, and now he's trying to close in on his next weight world championship. But good luck to the lad, and we'll see. Lopez, fringe contender at best. Got lucky against Ortiz, in my opinion, and he got his just rewards against the man known as Canelo, and Canelo quite rightly cleaned him out, left him there, just swept up the floor afterwards. Lopez just destroyed. It was shocking, that fight. To be honest, I can. I was gonna say I can't diss Canelo for taking a fight. I can't diss Lopez for taking that fight. I mean, he's only doing what he's been paid and told to do. But he took that fight and he got cleaned out. I wonder how he'll be from that. Looking at the attributes, we're going to start with the power. We know that is with Maidana. He is the bigger puncher in this fight. However, like I said, I've watched him for a long time. He does telegraph his shots. He is now wild because he does, believe in his power too much. Just wants to get off those big shots. Doesn't believe in his boxing anymore. He was actually not a bad boxer while he was an amateur, and he had a few attributes that you might see, or where more importantly, we're told by Robert Garcia, the trainer Garcia, that it is going to come back in this fight. And one of the things that is apparently going to come back in this fight is Maidana's use of a jab. Yeah, Imagine that. Imagine seeing Maidana use a jab. Anyway, I think he has slightly, calmed down a bit now that Garcia is in the corner, and he's slightly better defensively, but I'm still not convinced with him fighting on the inside, and I'm not convinced with him fighting on the outside. At both of which ways he can be beat. He is most effective at middle distance. In other words, if you stand there for more than 2 seconds and Maidana can get a shot off, you're pretty much going to pay for it. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say about that. Lopez, not a big puncher. However, he does have enough pop in his punch, to break a bone here and there. You can ask Victor Ortiz about that. He's a sufficient inside fighter. Obviously his power suffers because, you can't generate as much power on the inside. But in this fight you'd need to be, I think, an outside fighter, and I'm not convinced with his outside game. It will be a good game plan to use in this fight, like I said, but he's best at middle distance, and he's better on the inside. He shouldn't fight on middle distance, and he's got to cross middle distance to get to the inside, to sit on Maidana's chest and not allow Maidana the Rune to get the power shots off. So he's going to have to go through hell to get to where he wants to be, to get his game on. So it's going to be a hard fight for Lopez. In fact, I wonder if he's going to survive the distance right now. Speed, not convinced with Maidana's speed. He's not effective at 147, I do not think. And this is, by the way, don't forget, I did say I used to be a huge Maidana fan. Not too much anymore, because I can see his what's the word? I can see his deficiencies, and yeah, that's about all I can say about him. I can see his deficiencies in both PR and normal attributes. Seems slower at this weight limit too, and he telegraphs his big punches a little bit too much. I think Lopez in this fight will have a hand speed advantage, being I don't know how to put. I just expect Lopez to have a hand speed advantage. He should be a lot quicker than Maidana, who he's not quick. He's not quick, unfortunately. The chin, let's look at the chins. Lopez has obviously taken a lot of punishment in his last fight at the hands of Canelo. Canelo pretty much, if you actually watch the fight, he lifted Lopez off his feet with those body shots. Lifted him up off the floor with the body shots. Switched from body to head excellently, and pretty much fecked him right up. So I do wonder if he can come back from such a kicking like that. And Maidana will be, quite happy, I think, that he's getting, next on this, guy, because he really could go out there and clean him out too if Lopez is damaged. Looking at, Maidana's chin, you have to wonder also, to be honest. He's not got the greatest chin himself, or he can take a few punches. Obviously, he's been down to Ortiz, can't drop into the body. That's probably where he's weakest, the body. He don't like getting touched up to the body. So if Lopez goes to the body to try and slow Maidana down, then he's got a good chance of, hurting him. But other than that, Alexander, who failed to stop Lee Purdy, well, when I say failed to, no, he did stop him, failed to hurt Lee Purdy, and failed to hurt and stop Rendell Bailey, says a lot that he, was hurt, that Alexander was able to hurt Maidana. You know what I mean? So I wonder how good Maidana's chin is. I really do, but like I said, he's a lot more fragile to the body than he is to the head. So overall, how am I going to predict this fight? And I'm going to say Maidana will win this fight via a late knockout